Are you tired of getting caught off guard as black and want to play rock solid openings that give you a real firm grip on the position but enable you to really outplay your opponents? Well, in today's video, we are going to look at the most solid chess openings you can play for black. I'm Charlize, welcome to the Forward Chess channel. Stick around as we delve into a few of these amazing openings and the best way you can learn them. We are on the Forward Chess website on the position search function, which is really great because this is where you can put in any position and see the books that come up. Forward Chess is an interactive platform for all chess books and really the best way to read chess books. I don't know. I do have the physical books behind me, as you can see, but they have cobwebs because I haven't opened them in a while. I would prefer working online all the time. And you can take your books with you. I mean, I can't carry this with me in my suitcase everywhere I go. Anyways, let us start with number one solid opening for black has to be the Kukan. And this is personally one of my favorites. So you are giving black is giving white the center by playing c6, often allowing white to push with d4, which is the most common response to play here. And now black plays d5, and there is a whole positional battle for the center and for the flanks. What white tries to do a lot of the times is attack on the king side and tries to be really aggressive, but there are tried and tested ways for black to respond here. Of course, if white plays e5, this is the advanced variation. White can also play knight d2 or knight c3 or capture. There are a lot of different main lines, of course. If we look at what happens, in a case of talking about solid openings and now allowing white to push something like e5, which looks like white's taking space. Well, black has two ways of playing here: bishop f5 and c5. So attacking the base of the pawn chain, developing, getting this bishop out. It's a lot of the times it turns out to be just a better version of French, these positions, because this light squared bishop does come out. But in any case, this is my number one pick, and what you can do on Forward Chess is position search over here, and all the books that have these lines, cover these lines, will be listed over here, which is great. And a lot of the times it's for both sides. Now we just took from this specific position. Of course, if we go back and we search from here, a lot of books will come up either way. First Steps Kukan is a great one. Let me actually show you what this looks like. So it will give you a little snippet of what this looks like, and you can go ahead and open up, go to the book as well, and check it out, see if it's for you. Check out the sample as well, and the sample will show you what the book entails. You can actually look at the contents of the chapters, and yeah, we're going to be looking at this quite a bit. So if we go back, this is the best way to really find anything you're looking for. This is a very general position as well. Of course, we're on move 2, but if you want to go more in depth and see if there is an opening book that covers your specific line, then this is a great way to do it. Opening number 2, we have e4. This time black plays e5 and knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Black's response to bishop b5, one of the most solid responses you can have against Ruy Lopez Spanish, is the Berlin. And this becomes quite a tricky opening. Black plays knight f6. So many draws in this line. They even call it the Berlin endgame. When you see a lot of top players go into this, you know that it is going to be a draw probably very soon. So this gained a lot of popularity in the match between Kramnik and Kasparov. We saw so many Berlins, and yeah, after castles, let's say knight takes e4, this becomes Berlin endgame. A lot of theory here. but super, super solid. Even the greats have played it. You can see the books here. Let me show you. You can see that there are a lot of books covering this, as there are for most of lines of openings that you can find on Forward Chess. Let's take a look at this one. We've got the Berlin Defense here, showing a Crumneck game. Exactly, great. And games, this one says it's particularly analyzed. So I go to buy, I go see what is this book about. And Berlin is actually, we have a lot of books covering this on Forward Chess. And you can get a complete repertoire just from this. It's the easiest way. I mean, you want to learn Spanish, but you want to specifically learn Berlin, this is the way to go. Now let's look at a couple of d4 options. We just saw e4 with the response c6, Kukan, and a line in the Spanish, the Berlin. So now with d4, we're going to play d5. And after c4, one of the most solid responses for black. Of course, this is Queen's Gambit, the actual opening, not the series, obviously. So in Queen's Gambit, there are a lot of responses, different ways for black to play, but one of the most solid openings you will get is Queen's Gambit declined. And you get a lot of familiar positions. So this is a very, very, very solid, and you know, I don't know what a good word to use here is, but it's a tight opening. It's got a solid setup structure, and really black gets comfortable no matter what. It's very quiet for the most part. You avoid all of the funky lines that you see in Queen's Gambit accepted, and both sides really need to know their stuff. I've played this for many years as well, and for black, not for white. And I would always be comfortable playing it. And you know, the more you play something, the more used to the positions you get, and the ideas become simpler. Queen's Gambit accepted is super exciting, don't get me wrong, but in a video about solid openings, Queen's Gambit declined has to feature. Let's take a look at some of the books that come up. So there's a lot on Queen's Gambit declined. We can take a look here at the modernized Queen's Gambit declined and see what it's giving us here. And you know, you can play through, of course, the actual position. It is a chess book, but you can see what's going on in the line that it shows you, and you can decide if it's something that you would be comfortable in. And if you are interested, you click buy, and it takes you to the book, as it has been. I've already showed you this twice, so let's stop that there. But I love this feature so much because you can, again, look at something super specific, like the line knight f6, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5. Now, if we can make it more specific, okay, a lot of the books will cover this, but you can see it will take you to a position exactly from here. So let's say modernized again, and it keeps you on the move that you gave. Here we've got a whole game. Okay, so you cannot see these games on the board, but you can, whichever move that it's on, it will highlight for you. The final line we're going to take a quick look at, again in d4, but this is the Nimo Indian that I've been really interested in lately. By the way, book was released just a few months ago, which we'll talk about soon. But in any case, black plays knight f6, c4, we're not playing d5, we're not taking that center right away. So after knight c3, black plays the annoying move, bishop b4. And again, there are structures that come up that keep coming up, very easy to play. You do have to know your stuff. There is quite a bit of theory, and of course white has a million responses, but in a simple d4 c4, like, you can't really avoid this, right, unless you go into something completely different. But in terms of approaching this Queen's Gambit sort of setups, it's not a Queen's Gambit now because there was no Gambit involved. But the d4, c4, knight c3, this is a great one. And let us take a look at a book that has just been recently released. And as you can see, there are quite a few books over here. We have a move by move. I don't know if you've seen the move by move books, but they are great. So as you can see, a lot of options here as well. One of the more recent books is just Playing the Nimo Indian by Rainier Castellanos. We had an interview with him. You can check that out on YouTube as well. Really nice, and you can really tell his passion in the way that he teaches, and I think this is a great book. I mean, look at these reviews. So this is one of many great books, and if you want to find generally any book on Forward Chess, you can browse the ebooks. I mean, thousands of books are available. And otherwise, if you want to really search your specific, like here we go, what do we look at? We look at Kukan. So if you want to see all the Kukan books, instead of going to the position search that we just did, this comes up, and yeah, you'll find all the books that have this in the name. Of course, authors you can also search for here. So one of the great Kukan books, I will search Yamanka Haska, and your favorite author's books will come up too. So this is all on Forward Chess, and yeah, a lot, I mean, thousands of books. And here, if you want to look at specific filters, specific categories in the books, you can check it out here, as well as the actual publishers. All the top publishers you'll find on Forward Chess. And when you actually have your books purchased, you want to go check. Of course, remember that the web app's the best way to read your chess books. They'll all come up here in your library. And I think I have, here we go. Let's say going to our Kukan book. This one that I have quite a few, of course. But what I'll do is I'll come to my book, Advanced Variation. We just spoke about that as well. And your board is going to come up, and you can go ahead, play out the moves, guess the move trainer. You can have engine analysis. And of course, one of my favorite features is to actually, highlight on the board, and you can make notes, all kinds, highlight the text as well. Like, let's say, compared to the French defense, the Kukan seems to design to get the bishop out. This is exactly what I said. So just marking that because it's relevant. And you can come back to the notes, they'll stay. And yeah, this is just a really great way to learn chess. Chess is not always easy to learn in the first place. Chess books are not easy to read. So definitely, if you are keen to really dive into these new openings, learn what they're about, or first check them out on Forward Chess, see if these books appeal to you, and then get into it. Of course, playing solid chess can be considered to be boring, but I would argue otherwise. It's just annoying to play against solid players in solid chess. So it's definitely a good way of going about it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about next, and we'll see you next time.